greatness. In sports, it's a term that, in one sense, can only be measured over time. A player becomes a Hall of Famer and a team becomes a dynasty only after years of performing at a high level. But at any given moment in the NBA, the mission of any given player is simpler, played out in the here and now. Put the ball in the basket or turn that ball the other way. Sometimes it takes 5 men to get the job done. Sometimes one man has to rise above on his own. It can be a question of raw talent or of pure desire. And it can happen in the 7th game of the NBA Finals.
And there they go, they won it again.
Or in the opening seconds of an early season game. In this sense, greatness can present itself in an instant. A single play can become a defining image of how high a player can reach. And the greatest plays can represent the inspiration for the next generation of NBA stars and fans. Of greatness, like skill, timing, or the importance of the situation, work together in different ways to make every great moment unique. Blocked shots, great hustle, teamwork, and buzzer beaters all can take their place as historic plays based on the different skills they require. 100 great plays could be compiled 100 ways. One would be 10 plays in 10 different categories. And that is what follows. In the NBA's formative years, almost all the action took place below the rim. Only the rare big man like George Mikan of the Minneapolis Lakers would dare take to the air to dunk the basketball. Like a baby taking his first steps, the league's early stars were learning to navigate a new dimension.
I would take 2 or 3 dribbles, and that was about the extent of it. If I took 4, I'd kick it up in the stand somewhere.
Elgin Baylor, who debuted in 1958, became the first to master the skies.
Nobody changed basketball more than Elgin Baylor. Baylor would just blow your socks up. You've never seen anything like that before. He was the forerunner of everything that came thereafter.
In the 1970s, Dr. J. Julius Erving built on Baylor's foundation.
Amazing!
Turning the slam dunk into an art form.
I think to be a great superstar who is creative and to be a change agent in your sport, you really can't put any limitations on what you might do.
The Doctor gave way to a generation of showmen, including Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film.
Dominique, go! Block that! Oh, what a move by Dominique!
Great thing about Dominique was every game, during the game at some point I would say, man, he can't top that one.
Wilkins on the loose, that's freaky.
And then the next game I'll be saying, man, he can't top that one. He topped his moves every game.
Soon, the dunk would evolve again in the hands of Michael Jordan.
He just makes you wish that for one day and for 8-10 seconds that you could fly in the air.
I don't believe what I just saw! I saw man fly!
Once the NBA was airborne, there was no turning back. And though its roots are still in the ground, the game will forever flower somewhere in the stratosphere.
I just shake my head and I say, God, this is not the game we played 30 years ago. It's been said often enough that, the game today is being played above the rim.
He was with the birds, flying and soaring to the rack.
They come out as a sub yet. Here we got a dribble drive, change of direction by Bryant. And dunk.
Somebody cut him off. Barkley went away from the slam. They call that coast to coast.
And picked up by Drexler. Here he comes. Fakes it all the way. And gets it home. Coast to coast by Drexler.
Wide the glide. And look at God below. Mercy, nurse.
Goes to the foot race, and here he comes. Doctor looks for daylight with Beasley. Took that to the hoop. Julius Irving on his approach pass to the takeoff. 12 feet from the basket, looking at right up and over Gross.
We're down. There are 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Starks. Yes. What a move by Starks, who was able to sky the basket.
Starks goes. Oh, so big. What a spectacular move. They swarm him in that double they do. Now Kemp going to the hoop.
Malone, pass deflected, going to be stolen, I think, by the doctor. And he's got it. Here he comes. Way back to David. Slam dunk. The doctor made a sensational play. The slam, he just swung that baby way around.
Michael Jordan at his best. There's very few people on this planet that can do this.
He's just simply amazing.
The alley-oop combines elements of teamwork, pinpoint passing, timing, and dunking, and melds them into a breathtaking spectacle.
Something about alley-oop that gets everybody going. It means that you're having one guy being very unselfish, throwing it to a teammate, and a teammate finishing the play, so that's teamwork.
Backdoor. Oh, my. Hardaway.
I like catching lobs, but I still have to go back to throwing them because it's always just satisfying and enjoyable to see the ball go in the air and see a guy go up and catch it and then finish it.
Basketball is a game of reaction, especially when I get a nice pass and I go up and slam it. Makes everybody feel good.
Oh, baby. Save the women and children on that one.
It gets the crowd into the game. It gets my teammates into the game, too.
37 to play in the third.
During the 1990s, the NBA's stars turned the alley-oop into the game's ultimate quick strike weapon. And the players get as much of a thrill from it as the fans.
You're coming down on a fast break and you just rise up over someone and then you dunk it. Everybody just is going crazy and you just feel like you say, oh, so good.
9-0 here.
Here comes Mr. Jordan, who's right.
David Robinson at his best on both ends of the floor.
Man, excellent. Weaving by trouble. Oh, incoming.
entered the job of the little man.
What a play by Wilkins.
In the 1990s, Utah's diminutive John Stockton became the league's all-time assist leader.
It's like watching an artist work.
And while today's game features some more physically imposing players, the success of Stockton's style is a throwback to the NBA's first famous point guard, Bob Cousy, the Houdini of the hardwood.
What's the old cliche about necessity is the mother of invention? I mean, the first time I threw it behind my back, the defensive player was a half a man to my right. I would have knocked him over, so I slapped it behind my back. And they said, God, he must have been practicing that for you. I had never done it before, honestly.
Form followed function, and the flair that Cousy brought to the game became the foundation for the NBA's great passers through the years.
That was reminiscent of Bob Cousy.
Then in 1979, two big men came into the league and raised passing to an even higher plane.
All of a sudden, two players showed up that changed the face of this game. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, two of the greatest playmakers, two of the most unselfish players in the history of the game.
When Larry Bird got there, I think you all of a sudden knew to keep your hands up and keep your hands ready because you knew when Larry had the ball, that things were going to happen.
Bird with the pass through the legs of Sigma. How did he see it?
Magic was the only guy that I've ever seen really throw a no-look pass. You know, look at a guy, time him, look you off, and then hit that guy on a dime without ever looking at him.
They made it a habit to be unselfish, and they taught a lot of other players what it is to sacrifice and to be unselfish by being passers and thinking team first and team last. And they'll go down in history as that.
Bob Cousy has dazzled countless fans with his thrilling brand of basketball.
Made the hook from 18. Now here's Magic down the middle. Magic.
It's 73-72 Chicago. 1 minute left in the game. Michael up top, 20-footer. No good. Rebound, Stockton.
Stockton rebound. Stockton goes alone.
Ahead, Malone. He's got it. He's scored. Stockton alone. They'll take the lead.
Hustle back. On away. Oh, Amen. Oh, what a pass. Oh, that's the pass of the year.
Tipped around. Jackson with the ball.
Ball tap loose from Elo, and here comes Jordan. Behind the basket. What a play. What a play.
A sensational play by Barkley.
5.6 left. Sally. Oh, what a play.
Finds Bird. Won't go. Bird the rebound. Over his head to McHale.
Rob Jones wanted it. The Magic wants it more. Dribble behind the back. Oh, what a play. Slam dunk. Maybe the play of the year. And it had to be culminated by that fantastic slam dunk by Scott.
For the NBA's men of steel, the most important muscle has always been the mind, and the most devastating weapon is the will.
I had to guard the Oscars and the Jerry Westers. They were so good that they scared other players who tried to guard them. Now, my approach is they're great at what they do. I had to be great at what I do. So my ego had to match theirs.
They said I was like a leopard or panther on the defense, smothering my guy. If I steal one ball, I think I'm going to steal more.
Frazier again did it. Isn't that something?
Though times change, the mindset of the NBA's great defenders has never wavered from one generation to another.
Getting out there, guarding somebody, and making them fear me, I think that's the best part of the game.
A steal can not only stop the offense before it starts, but it can be basketball's most devastating tide turner.
Pass stolen by Frazier. He drives.
I stole the ball. The crowd wouldn't shut up. I can see in guys' faces the anguish. It becomes frustration, devastation. There was no fire, no desire in their eyes. They lost it.
Zips it back outside. The ball is McDaniel had it stolen by Jordan. Michael's got it break away. This game is over.
Supplicating defense. Transition basket. The whole package is right here.
Next down by 8. West across the front. Reaches the Frazier. Dives ahead of the field. Down the line. Layup is good. Tremendous defensive maneuver. Here's Evans. Here at Madison Square Garden.
We're in overtime. Tied at 91 and 1 minute remaining.
Generals against Jordan. Knocked away. Stolen by Michael. MJ on the run. Michael dumps the ball and a foul. Oh, my.
Michael Jordan with a critical defensive play. 45 to go. Jordan fake right, go left, spin right. Go Stockton steals it. Stockton steals it. Stockton down. Hey, blocked and a foul by Jordan. Play by Stockton.
The Boston Celtics trying to go on to the finals. Sixers trying to stay alive. They trail by 2, 33 seconds to go. They must stop the Celtics on this possession. Malone to Irving. The Celtics lead their best defensive effort of the season right here.
This is a tough time.
Larry Bird. He's over. Boston Celtics have won as Larry Bird comes up with the big play at the end. Look it. Skip the clock. Kevin is there. Scotty saves it to Tony. He runs over again.
91-90 the score. Chicago with the lead with 18 and 1/10 seconds to play.
The Lakers lead the Celtics 113 to 111. Well, they're going to try and make a steal here, and they got their best defensive team in there right now. And the Lakers, keep in mind, will not have to take a shot.
Goes quickly in now to Magic. Back over to Worthy, and it's picked off. Goes to Henderson, he lays it off and out. It's all tied up. A great play by Henderson.
For a minute there, I could hear Johnny Moose going, Henderson steals the ball.
5 seconds left. Boston only has a 1-point lead. Greer putting the ball in play. He gets it out. People have a check steal.
Boston down 1.
Bird guarded by Mahorn. Drives around him. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by A. No, they call it the other way.
The Detroit ball with 5 seconds to go. Thomas wants to get it in quickly.
And now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ. Right up 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up to him. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
The blocked shot. Is it luck? Is it good timing? Is it anticipation? Bill Russell the man who not only popularized it, but had it down to an exact science.
When I go up to the block shot, I'm going to try to sweep it that way.
You don't slap.
No. Now, see, now if I sweep it there, now I got an angle to go after.
In his 13-year career, Bill Russell turned the block shot into the cornerstone of NBA defense.
He would shut down the basket, completely shut it down. Every shot went up, he took it away.
What a block by Russell! What a block by Bill Russell! Incredible!
One game I remember, I went around my man going for a layup and he blocked a couple of shots on me. And then the next time I got around him, I missed a layup looking for him.
We shut a guy down, I would block a guy's shot and say, yes, we did that to you. If you come back, we'll do it again. If you come back again, we'll do it another time. So you have to try something else to do. That won't work.
While Bill Russell mastered the psychology of intimidation, his great rival, Wilt Chamberlain, dominated the basket with a colossal physical presence.
First time I saw him, I was in awe. I had never seen a man this size, not only his height, over 7 feet tall, but the shoulders and the strength.
Wilt was a Paul Bunyan figure, mythic in what he could personally do.
Wilt and Russell set the standard for NBA big men. And though the players may have changed, the mentality remains the same.
One of the key things of playing defense is to work on the offensive player's confidence. Sometimes you can do that emotionally or intellectually, and sometimes you have to do it physically.
He goes right to Akeem. Good heads-up play. And a steal by Strickland, a lazy pass. Olajuwon blocked it away. Wow. Well, Akeem give, and Akeem taketh away.
Go the other way, 3-on-2. One of them's Mourning underneath.
Mourning blocks his sixth shot. A tremendous block. The guy can't get any higher than that.
Blocked by Chamberlain. A great block by Chamberlain. Beautiful block, Chamberlain. Two great plays by Wilt Chamberlain.
Harper out with it. The Cats have 4-on-1. Barkley being the one. How about that? And that. Barkley made the block. Barkley made the block.
And this time Hazard comes down with it. Fast break. West all alone. Look at Russell come down. And what a play. What hustle by Russell. Set that time.
Oh, Robinson blocking Johnson and got it back again against Wingate. Oh, my, the Admiral.
This is a big possession by the Knicks. Tie game at 89, and Ewing wants the ball and gets it.
Are you kidding me? That is a spectacular block.
Alonzo Ellis took it right away from him.
Johnson will inbound. Oliver Miller plays it. Here's Johnson. Johnson gets, no, he could not get it all. Knocked away by Grant. It's all over. The Chicago Bulls have 3 straight NBA championships. Horace Grant comes up with the block to conclude matters.
Chris Forciani is into the game.
There might be times where we get down, but like we've done all year, instead of pulling apart, we pull together.
Win or lose, we're taking something in that locker room and believe in each other in this huddle. You gotta believe that, guys. You fought too hard. Every one of you. Grab each other and trust each other. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Help each other. Help each other. No one guy's gonna do it. Let's do it together. Let's do it together.
The greatness of any NBA play is magnified by how many players contributed to its success. And teamwork has always been the cornerstone of great basketball.
I grew up in a small town where, you play as a team, you win as a team, you lose as a team. So I liked it when everybody was involved. Whether I scored 10 points or 20 points or 50 points, I liked it when the ball was moving.
When the ball is moving so that the defense is just spinning around, wondering, where the heck is this ball? When you play like that with that kind of team chemistry, there is absolutely nothing that the defense can do about it.
Transcendent teamwork not only gets a rise out of the crowd, but also elevates the game to its highest level.
That's when things kind of get spiritual almost, because people start getting into someone else's head because they're always thinking about them, caring about them, and trying to perform for them. And then the power of everyone is in one person.
Whether it is achieved for a decade, a season, or even a single moment, true teamwork is a joy to behold.
You're watching beautiful basketball. The ball is moving, 5 guys playing. Oh, man. Ooh. I mean, just awesome.
To see people believe in the same goal and come together and rely on each other to be a part of that is just a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Sabalas with the rebound. He comes out over Miller. Keenan. Oh, the pass to Johnson. The block.
Now watch the nice teamwork by the Celtics. Into Russell. That's a dunker.
8-point lead for Seattle. Kemp posting up. And Shrem. Nice movement. They get it over to Kemp. Shrem to Nestor to Kemp. Beautiful basketball by the Sonics.
It's the Lakers ball. Watch this fabulous fast break. 2 points for Los Angeles.
And the terrific ball movement on the part of the Knicks continues.
Outside Bradley, one hand of the 20 count.
Portland with the ball and a 3-point lead, and here's a 3-point attempt by Porter. Long rebound. Thomas to Sally. Can he save it? Yes. Yeah. With a 1. But Sally made it happen with great hustle out of bounds. 2 great plays. Excellent transition, filling the lane through. Here comes number 1. Jordan again is rolling. Showtime, you saw it here. Wow. Showtime by the Bulls.
Braun for Bexos. Back to Carl. Into Gallup, who slaps out to McGuire. That was close, but the Knicks still have it. And Gallup gets the back. Ready.
The truly great ones, and there's very few of them, you knew that when the big game was there, you knew that they were going to be the best player.
make it, we win. If I miss it, we going into overtime. I ain't giving them a chance to shoot it again.
I felt that at the end of the game, that there was no doubt in my mind I was going to make it.
It's almost like an arrogance that you don't think you can fail. And particularly when the game's on the line, it seems like it's easier.
My teammates knew if it came down to the final seconds that I was going to shoot the shot. It's like Robert Parrish always said, there's 40,000 eyes on Larry Bird because they knew he was going to get the ball. And we knew it, our opponents knew it, now it's just up to them to stop it.
You might make your first 10 shots and everything is going great, but when the game is on the line, those other 10 don't mean anything.
Robinson on Barkley. It's his game to win.
You're not always going to be successful, but if you're scared to fail, you don't deserve to be successful.
Barkley 20-footer, yes, with 1.8 seconds. Charles Barkley with an MVP jump shot. They stay back. Off it comes to Chapman, almost overthrown. Chapman, long shot up. He is! 1.9 left in regulation. Chapman hit it. What a remarkable play by Rex Chapman. It's left in Milwaukee up 116-115. Messi looks to bring it in. He comes in. It kind of goes away. Williams to Bird again. Up pace. Fires another three-pointer. Off balance. Falling out of bounds. Is he worth the price of admission? He is too much. Absolutely too much. 2.9 seconds. Harper's on Miller. McKee gets it in the middle for the win.
Reggie hits the three with 7/10 of a second to go.
Curry, the Celtics now facing the situation where they have 5 seconds to try to win this game. Here come the Celtics. Havlicek touches it. It begins. 3 seconds. Hondo off the glass. He's done it with a second.
They did it. 1 second left. Suns on 2. Has comes out of this possession. They want Michael to get a full head of steam to try to keep him in the middle of the floor. Well, Pippen got the snap. Here's Paxson for 3. Pax just waiting for his opportunity. What? Do you believe this? Do you believe this?
105.99, 18.7 seconds left. Miller for 3. And he got it. Reggie Miller with a clutch trade. And it's 105-102. And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line. One hit again. Reggie Miller has tied the game with 13 seconds remaining. Reggie Miller made a 3. Stole the ball. Raced behind the three-point line and hit again.
Playoff performers of his generation has apparently done it again.
101-100. What a basketball
of the basic aspects of the NBA is that good teamwork still allows for individual creative inspiration.
A lot of what basketball is about for a lot of people is not necessarily who wins and loses, though that's important. It's for those moments. Those moments when one player does something so amazing and so unexpected.
Every generation is enriched by the individuals who came before, setting higher and higher standards for the impact a single player can have on the game.
When you can take what it is that you're doing out on the court and make a guy in the 15th row feel what you're doing, that's when you got something special.
I certainly was aware that my style of playing was attractive to fans in those days because I was a little ahead of my time in terms of the way I played the game.
The Wally move takes advantage with the wheeling one.
I still remember the first time I saw Earl Monroe, somebody had said you'd never anything like him. It was like you felt there was a connection. You just watched him, and you put it in your memory bank.
Maravich, boy, he's got all kinds of moves. What move doesn't this guy have?
Guys like Maravich and Monroe would make it look like miracles every time.
Showtime was that beautiful sky. That's the most beautiful shot that I've ever seen in basketball.
You know, you just roll it over their fingertips, you know, and they think they got it and it just roll over.
Irvin slings inside. Oh, my. What a move by Ice.
They knew when they came to see Ice, you know, they was gonna at least do this one time. Oh, good shot. What a life.
How does he do that? How does he do that? How does he know?
You can go 0 for 25, but you'll stay watching him because that 1 for 26 may be the greatest move you've ever seen in basketball. So you dare not turn the channel.
Out to Bob Cousy, and is he ever on the beam?
To Livingston. Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
That's ridiculous. That's so good. That's ridiculous. I hope Chicago knows what they get to see every night.
Spread out the half. Isaiah by Lever and Valentine to forecourt against pressure. Shot clock at 15. Still has the dribble right side. Way down to the floor. Comes in the lane. 10-footers on the way. He's awesome, baby. He's awesome. Killer crossover.
Tim Hardaway with a vicious crossover.
To the outside. Iceman drives for the hoop. Oh, good. Check that shot out. Ultimate finger roll.
Right back, the Bulls can go up 14. Jordan past Petrovic.
You can't believe that, can you?
It's 89-84. Sixers, and they get inside.
There is one type of great play that doesn't require the ability to shoot, pass, run, or jump. Hustle is the domain of those blessed with the gift of desire.
Well, that was just part of my makeup. I was taught that every loose ball could be the outcome of the game. And if you had 5 or 6 loose balls on the ground in a game, that could turn into 12 or 15 points. So I was always taught that every time you had an opportunity to get the ball, you better take that chance.
Just get the ball. And that's always been my
just get the ball.
Barkley dives for it, finally picks it up. Here's his fadeaway, got it! He wouldn't give up on it.
At the highest levels of play, the desire to outwork your opponent can become the greatest skill of all.
I did try to play hard because I realized that if I didn't, I became an ordinary player.
This is my game of passion, and I love it. I'm going to do everything I can to win this game, to win any game.
You cannot measure the depth and size of this guy's heart.
It comes down to focus, comes down to intensity, comes down to courage.
That's just effort. That's all effort.
The most important thing, you got to have the heart. You got to have the will.
When they talk about mental toughness and physical toughness, this guy's got the entire package.
Chicago will have 7.5 seconds in the ball.
The best part of the NBA is the moments during a timeout when that game is hanging in the balance.
What do you think Phil Jackson is thinking about? Will it automatically be Michael Jordan?
I think it'll go to Michael Jordan and then let him create.
People are edging to the edges of their seats or standing in anticipation.
On their feet here at the United Center. Tied at 82. The finals. The first game. It is Michael Jordan time. Kukoc has got the ball inbounds from Pippen, and here is Michael. 4 on the shot clock now. Keeps it on the dribble. Russell's there.
That moment of explosion when something punctuates all that anticipation with something dramatic.
MJ, top of the
the circle against Russell. Michael hangs, fires, stop. He knocked it in at the buzzer, Bozeman. How many times has he done it?
Whoever catches that ball is going to have to put it right out. Max looking, loops at the bird, a runner. It's gone! It's gone! And the Celtics win it! Bird hits and the Celtics win it! 103 to 101, a three-pointer by Larry Bird at the buzzer.
This is reaction time. You got to get it, you got to put it up. If you don't get a shot away, they'll talk about it the rest of your life. Magic fires for three. Got it! Magic got a three-pointer! The Lakers win!
Pistons have the ball, 5 seconds remaining in regulation, down by 1.
Here's Isaiah. Let's see what we got. All the way up. Go!
That is literally carrying the team on his back.
Take them to the promised land.
1 second on the clock. A miraculous shot by Ralph Sampson has given the Houston Rockets the trip to Boston for the NBA World Title.
DJ again to make the inbound pass. The double team and Bird. Larry, fake, fall away.
Hits it! All right! Unbelievable. Bird gets out as far as he can go. Hits a fake, drives on the foul. One dribble. Will fall away. Hail Mary, clear. Please go in shot. And there it is, folks.
Is up. No good. Rebound, Day with 5 seconds into the front court. Goes to Malone into the corner. Malone throws up a brick ball. Oh my goodness, what a shot! Unbelievable shot by Jeff Malone on the left baseline.
We're tied at 100. Game 6 on the line here. Russell to Stockton. Stock for 3. Stock got it. Unbelievable. John Stockton. John Stockton is over. They can't get it. We're on our way to the World Championship.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it! They win it! That's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Michael Jordan hits it at the foul line. 101 to 100. 7, 6, 5. The Blazers shoot. With 3 seconds to go. 2 seconds. 1 second. West throws it up. He makes it.
Now the final second of play here in the Boston Garden. Boston up 9-2. Boston clutch, they'll have to throw it up. Garherd turnaround shot in the air. Tied again. I don't believe it. Garfield Hurd at the buzzer. We've got a third overtime in the Boston Garden. I gotta take a breather. Garfield Hurd made the basket. I want to tell you something. Somebody up there is on our side.
By Best right down the lane. Isaiah breaks up the lane, falls, but keeps the dribble twice. Now comes back toward the lane, to the hoop, up in, off the glass, and he's fouled. Holy cow. Out of timeout. Here's warning, the shot.
got boys with the power to rock you, blowing your mind, so you gotta get into 5. What you waiting for? If you want a 3, 2, 1, let's do it.
Make one. Got a push, got a good vibe on. If you really wanna feel like, got the flavor in my song, but I really need to now. Here we go. Do you wanna get down? Do you wanna get funky? Do you wanna get down? Get on down. Slam dunk the funk, put it up if you got that.
Left is just enough for me to rock. Now check it how I flip it, rock the beat 'cause I get with it. Yo, and everybody wants to